Hi, this is Cindy Siak, and I'm coming at you today from Ho'omaluhio Botanical Garden. You can see the beautiful reservoir right behind me. So, I wanted to talk today about for sale by owner. So, if you're thinking about selling your home yourself, here's my advice. Just don't do it. I know it seems like you want to save money, you think you can do it yourself, nobody knows your house as well as you do, but it is a lot more complicated than selling a car. And it kind of reminds me of when everyone was critical of teachers until COVID hit, and then all the parents had to homeschool their kids themselves, and then they realized teachers are actually doing a great job. So I think selling a home is kind of like that. I think people sell their own home for two reasons. One, they want more money. Understandable. And two, they just hate realtors. Also understandable. But in reality, after taking the class and learning a lot more about real estate, I realized that prior to becoming licensed, I did not know what I did not know. And there was a lot I did not know. I think that taking the class, passing the class, once you're licensed, you still have to work under a broker. And there's a reason for that, because it is so complicated. You really don't learn this job until you're in it for years. And as you go through each transaction, you learn more and more and more, and you build on that. And of course, you have a broker there to help you with things that you're unfamiliar with. But this is why there is that setup of brokers, agents working under brokers, and so that all sellers will have access to that broker's experience. There's so much paperwork that you need to do for a sale. Just the purchase contract is 15 pages. And, you know, the average person is just not going to understand the purchase contract. The counter offer, if you need a counter, is 2 pages, not too bad. There's a lead-based paint disclosure that you may or may not need. And do you know if you need it or don't need it? There's the seller's disclosure statement. This is 4 or 5 pages of things that the seller needs to disclose about their house. Number one reason that sellers get sued is because buyers feel like things were hidden from them. So we need to fully disclose. Do you know what to disclose? Do you know how to disclose? Do you know how far back you need to go to make these disclosures? Then if you're selling a condo, there's condominium documents, which include a whole another list of things that's too long. I'm not even going to read it to you. Those documents need to be receipted and approved. There's escrow instructions to open escrow. You need to work with an escrow company in the state of Hawaii to facilitate the transfer of property from one person to another. And you know, you just don't want to do it wrong. You don't want to go through this whole process and you didn't do something right, and now the buyer doesn't have a clear title to your home, which is just going to create problems down the road. There's, from the buyer side, you're going to want to see their pre-approval letter, their loan commitment letter. They're going to need an appraisal. You may need a survey. You need a property inspection, or the buyers may want a property inspection report. There's releases from contingencies that you need to get. There could be encroachment agreements or variances that go with the property. You may need to get it tenanted. Who's going to pay for that? What's normal? If it's leasehold, you may need leasehold disclosures, and of course a title report to show that you're selling something with clear title. There's FIRPTA HARPTA paperwork. What the heck is FIRPTA HARPTA? If you don't live in the state and you're trying to sell a house, or if you don't live in the country and you're trying to sell a house, there's additional paperwork. Then when the whole thing's over, you want a satisfaction waiver. Why do you want a satisfaction waiver? Once the buyer says they're satisfied, all terms of the sale have been met, they sign a satisfaction waiver. That protects the seller from them coming back saying, hey, not everything was done. No, they signed, it was done. There's a final walkthrough form for the same reason. They've walked through, they did a final inspection. If it's a VA borrower, there's even more paperwork. So you're definitely going to want someone to help you through all this paperwork, I'm pretty sure. There's other additional documents that you may need, and this list is not meant to be all-inclusive for you. It's just a representation of what kind of paperwork goes into the purchase of a home and the selling of a home. And At Home Hawaii is highly recommends working with a licensed real estate agent. That's going to give you assurance that all the details are going to be handled by a pro and everything is going to be the greatest protection to the seller and the greatest protection to the buyer is by working with a licensed real estate agent. Thanks for listening.